there. Well, we're back on linear, and just the same as last month. It's now the beginning of August. It's about 30 degrees and hardly cloudy in the sky. Not a change this time. I'm on Brasenose Two, so I'm going to sort my life out now. Just have a little bit of a let about and get the rods out. So at the minute I'm absolutely shattered after an early start. So anyway, let's get myself sorted and come back to you later. Morning. Well, the first night was quiet. Got a lot of bleeps close in and a lot of tench activity. I think a couple of the lads behind me on Brasenose One had one in the middle of the night, although not of any size, but it's a capture anyway, all the same. I'm not sure this swims for me, to be honest with you. We'll have to see how it goes anyway. But, just bear in mind, if you do fish along this bank, that obviously it sees a fair amount of traffic, because basically it's a carriageway between two lakes. So anyway, the wind's in my favour now and for most of the week, I think, until at least Wednesday anyway. Don't know what's going to happen then, but we'll keep at it, and time to get the kettle on. Well, that's the view from the bivvy this morning. Looking good, nice breeze pushing across, as expected. So the weatherman got it right for a change. Well, I've come down on my own this time. So if my old mate Dave's watching, alright lad. I don't think Pete could get the time off, Pete from down in Dorset, so if you're watching, Pete, where's that tulip, Seamush? Well, the morning's passed by quite quietly, and just mixed myself a bucket of spod mix. So come prepared. This is absolutely loaded with pre-tied zigs. So we'll have to see how it goes. I've cut 3 down to 5 foot, and what I'm going to do is just keep applying the mix throughout the day, certainly throughout the sunshine until later on, and see how it goes. Currently I've got the usual coots paying a visit, no doubt making it a mockery out of my baiting, but we'll have to see how it goes later on. Does give it a couple of hours or so and it will get really hot in this swim, so I don't know whether it's good or bad that I keep timing my holidays with all this sunshine. I think some people would kill for that, but anyway, what I tend to do, you know, is as far as bottom baits go, I like you know, making sure I've got rigs all ready to go and baited up. And I don't know whether you've noticed this, you know, I'm not a big fan of fancy rigs, and definitely the you know, it's not that I can't tie them, because you know, I can be quite I can tie them with quite a bit of finesse, you know. But I think it's one of those things, if you're into it, then that's the way it is, isn't it? But what I have found is, if you're going to start sort of using metalwork, you know, little swivels and little this, that and the other, you know, I'm like a a pop-up user as such. I'm certainly critically balanced, but I like the pop-ups. And of course, the more metalwork you use, you know, these micro swivels on the back of your hook, etc., you've got to remember that the less buoyant your bait's going to be. So what turn out to be pop-ups can end up being critically balanced baits, but that's not a bad thing for everyone, is it? But it's just something to bear in mind anyway. I don't think everybody sort of thinks of that. I'm sure the lads in the know do. But I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can anyway. Just keep applying the bait. I've had a tip from one of the lads who works here. So I'm kind of making a steady application of bait. I'll be spodding. Thought that was my line moving then. I'll be spodding over the same spots that my bottom baits are, so inevitably it's going to be more for later on the baited area. So well, we'll have to see how it goes. So the t-shirt's gone back on for this spodding exercise, because you know how it is, goes all over the place. And it's funny what you know, I got here and almost immediately started chatting to somebody, because of course at the end of the day we've all got one thing in common, haven't we? We all like being here and doing a bit, and it doesn't matter what your style is. You know, I mean, you're probably aware of the last two videos I made. You know, my style is very much a holiday style, if you like. Some of the lads here, they fish hard, and fair play to them. They catch some good weights. What I haven't mentioned in previous videos is, you know, I've just like everybody, I'm 52 now. You know, I've done my apprenticeship, and I've done my fair share of day sessions and short sessions and stalking sessions and weekend sessions, and you know, and I've fished hard from time to time, and it's just, you know, at this time of life, and due to health reasons and this, that and the other, and personal reasons, I get this time to myself, and you know, I take it much more leisurely. I think that happens as you get older. You become a bit more philosophical, if you like. So the wind's in my favour, sun's shining, and the spod mix is about to go out. Let's see what we can do with it. There's the bucket on the ready. I just mentioned it, you know, it's brought something to mind about some of the old sessions I used to have, you know. One in particular, one place, it was like a pit, in a clay pit down in Dorset, and it was very rarely fished, very snaggy, very deep, and you know, some of the best fishing I've ever had was down there. Basically one rod, no chair, bag, and that was it. Used to walk around, throw a little bit of bait in, floaters in the right area, pellets in other areas and other bait, and just keep walking around and doing laps until something happened. And it really was some of the most exciting fishing, and they weren't huge, you know. I had a few mid doubles, but it doesn't matter, does it? It's all relative. Let's go and have a look at Brasenose One. A couple of lads setting up here. Over there. There you go, B1. Scorchio. And there you go, anyway. 3.5 pound, 12'6". And obviously the inevitable big pit reels. And to be honest, they're not that heavy duty, they do the jobby admirably. Whizzing around to the little house. You know what kind of bivvy that is? Does it matter? No. As long as it keeps the rain off and keeps the condensation down, that's all that matters, ain't it? So there you go, whistle stop tour. Size 6 curve shank, sharpened point, and what I've found with these particular brand of curve shank that you don't seem to need any shrink tube on them. You don't need a liner as such. But I must admit, I'm a sucker for putting a piece of plastic on top of a pop-up. I think for me it's just a case of peace of mind, knowing that if the pop-up's been affected by anything, if it's been for any in the water for any duration, at least something's going to still be there. So there you go, dead straightforward. Supple braid. Sometimes I use coated braid. I find that this particular braid is, I think it's something like 35 pound breaking strain, which might seem heavy, but the point is that it has a kind of element of stiffness to it, although it is a supple braid. But I think you understand what I'm saying. So works a treat. Just a jobby. Look at that, straightforward shot, pinched underneath the hook. My kind of rig. I wonder how many amongst you sort of actually take it in when you're here, apart from the, you know, the working at you making rigs and baiting up and this, that and the other. How many of you actually take it in? You know, I'm talking about, you know, the wildlife, the night sky, the dawns, the dusk, and everything else. I mean, I just wonder if you don't kind of appreciate it, what are you doing it for? Right, first one of the session. It's Tuesday morning, it's getting hot now. Anyway, it's come at 80 yards over bait. I've got one right in the margins there too. So anyway, it's just under 18, but it's a start, isn't it? Yes. I stuck with the zigs all day yesterday, but I don't know, I'm not sold, especially with the change in the weather now, so I think I'm going to sort of keep with the baiting up and approach. I'll tell you what I will do. When I got up this morning, well, I think it was around 9ish, something like that, I was watching a fish that was bubbling. Oh, it must only be a couple of 3 rod lengths to my left. Just a flick out. And, you know, at first I thought it was gas. And then there was another plume, and then another. So inevitably there was more than one fish there. I whizzed a rod in and got a single sort of buck bait on it with a light lead. But that's when I had the fish from the 80-yard mark. And I think I've got another on camera. Oh, we'll have some of that. Now here's a surprise. I don't think it's very big, but you never can tell. They kind of glide in, don't they, from range, and then they start feeling heavier as they get in. And this is starting feeling heavier. It's pulling back a bit. It's pulling back. It's also heading for the trees. See if we can turn. determined it's going that way, I think. Yeah. It's a bit heavy, I know that. Keep the rod tip down, hopefully it will bring it up in the water. Keep it away from any snags under there. Yeah, let's go over the trees. Let's go into the tree. Don't they hang on? As Matt H used to say. Right, my net. Right then, there you go. It's in the afternoon now. And it's just gone over 18.2, so at least it's not a fish. Hello mate. Only a little one.
It's a fish?
Yeah. Well, second or two today.
Well, that's not bad.
Well, we've got a couple of fish in the bag anyway. It's Tuesday evening, and as you've seen, I've got the rod settled. So we're not going home with a blank anyway. So it's me and one of Czech's finest saying cheers. Well, the sun's dipping down on my shoulder there. And I think tonight I'll treat myself to a tarka dal, oh yes, which is all you carp anglers will know is a combination of pureed lentils and curried otter. And in the neighbouring swim this evening we've got John Owen and we've got little Nolo in there. And John's already into a carp. And I think young Nolo's going to land it for him. Nice fish, John. Get in. So here's John with his first linear carp, and Noel, who landed it admirably, I must say. So it was just under the £20 mark, but it's good to get off the mark, mate. You didn't waste any time, did you? So there's more to come.
Yeah, pleased with that one.
Really excellent.
Nice, long, clean fish.
It's a clean fish for sure.
First fish from Linear Fisheries.
Yeah, first one as well.
Check out the red sky at night. It's looking good. Anyway, priceless bit of footage there of John and his son Noel. Really pleased. It's good that he's off the mark. Anyway, I've just been putting a few spods out using a new device that I won't mention, but so far so good. Oh, look at that. What a magical time of day. You'll do for me. And here's John and Noel showing us how it's done again. About 17, just over, I think, something around that.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Keep it up, lads. Here we go. It's the midweek rant. What about fish-eyed lenses? You know, you see these photographs of lads holding carp out, £10 carp at full arm's length, back straining. Gigantic fingers. What's that all about then? Fish-eyed lenses. No, not for taking trophy shots. No way. Just been thinking about some of the things that I've found in the past, you know, and I went fishing with my uncle one time, and he used to have a Doberman, and he was nuts, the dog. And every time my uncle would get a run, the dog would go bananas. And picture the scene. He's fishing next swim down to me, quite close to the water, and his oval brolly gets a run in the middle of the night. He jumps up, the Doberman jumps up, he dives over the Doberman and winds up in the lake head first. Oh, lovely. Yeah, and I fished on one lake where there was nobody on there. It was only a small place, and on the opposite side there was a wooden platform somebody had built, a local club or something. And I saw this car pull up, and this really big guy got out of this car. And when I say big, I don't mean he went to the gym. And he got out, got all his gear out, and then the car drove away. So my guess was it was perhaps his wife or something dropping him off. And he made his way down this steep embankment to this this platform, this wooden platform. Got all his gear on it. And literally within, I think he was just about to cast in, and I was minding my own business, and I heard this huge crack, and looked over. And there he was, up to his chest, in wooden platform. Oh. 5 minutes later, a car rolled up and took him away. Yeah, but the best one I heard, no, there's a couple more. And I used to fish a local lake, and my fishing partner Dave, my buddy Dave, the lad you've seen on one of the other videos, or two of the other videos, he was telling me about two people, a chap and his son, fishing on this local water. And he said they'd been there about 3 or 4 days, and he walked past, and they actually had a chip pan on the go in the bivvy. Oh. So, and they asked him would he like some chips, and he politely declined. Can you imagine? Oh, it's just something worth thinking about. God grief. What? Another occurrence. We keep getting liners, you know. Anyway, maybe I've got a bit too much corn out there. We'll see. I'm not going to put any more out now. Obviously I want to hedge my bets. So I think the final one really for this little tale is this little section is about the same water. Now I wasn't present for this, but I know it's 100% true. But one of the syndicate guys, it was winter, and he's got one of these one-piece suits on with a hood. Now this particular lake, there were no conveniences like there are these days. We're going back a few years now. And he's felt the call of nature, shall we say, politely. And gone off into the bushes to do his business. And when he returned, he put his hood up. You know what's coming next, don't you? He fouled his own hood and had to go home, pack all his gear. Ah, dear me. I bet he never did that again. Some of the things that people do. All adds to the fun of being on the bank, doesn't it? Right. We've got Richard here, who tells me he's fishing over in the boy swim.
I am.
And he unfortunately lost one this morning at the net,
right
which
at
is
the net.
yeah, the very worst place possible.
And got snapped off on a zig yesterday afternoon as well. 8
Oh, did
foot
you?
zig.
Did you?
I did, yeah. 8 foot zig.
Now that was near the surface, wasn't it? Because it's about 8-10 foot there, isn't it?
Well, I've measured it. It's about 12 foot there.
Is it
I
really?
had to double check because I weren't too sure. When I double checked, it was.
That's
12 foot
interesting.
like.
That's interesting.
So I thought, right, I'll stick it at 8. And
Right.
lo and behold, within an hour it ripped off. And as soon as
Well-
it ripped off, it snapped off.
So what's the plan for this evening, Richard, when you get back?
Double corn
Yes?
on all 3
Yes?
and hemp and corn approach.
You like the hemp and corn? You can't go wrong with a bit of sweet corn anywhere, really, can
I
you?
saw that one this morning, that's screaming run. I think
Yeah.
everybody thought it was in a comb when it was going that long. Even shocked me when it went.
Do you know what? I would have liked to have fished Oxleys again this time around. But there was a function on there. Well, actually, was it closed for weed cutting? It was closed for weed cutting. And then it was reopened again, but only for 2 or 3 days. And then there was a function on there. So this is why I ended up on B2. But you know, that if you remember from the last video, there was a shed full of weed in front of us, just a bank of weed, really dense, which I'm not sure how that affects the carp when they've done the actual cutting, because I've never been in there after it's happened. But it makes you wonder. I'll be interested to see what the results are on the website and stuff when I get to look at it. But I think there was it's not uncommon, especially in this hot weather that's been so sort of prevalent. I know a mate of mine, Dean, he sort of manages and bailiffs a lake in Essex. I think it's called Totham, at Southern Pit. And he was saying that, you know, there's a similar sort of situation there where it's been absolutely weed choked. And, you know, what with EU regulations and stuff, you know, the herbicides can't be used anymore. So, you know, hence why people use the blue dye to prevent the penetration of light into the water and sort of subdue the weed growth. I got this from a well-known outdoor store, shall we say. And if you look, basically it runs on biofuel, and you just fill it up there. And you know, the harder the wind blows, the better it works. It's a superb bit of kit, if you're happy enough to carry a litre bottle of biofuel with you. Now, on these long sessions I tend to bring 2, but I usually don't get past 1. But yeah, cracking bit of kit. Highly recommended. It's my final night, and we've had a little bit of a result. This one came in, gave me a right good scrap too. It's one of those with a little shallow chest and a big back, and it's gone 25.5. So as you can imagine, I'm very pleased with that. That certainly is leaving it till the 11th hour, isn't it? Following that 25.5, John's had a result next door. £32 and 1 ounce. Yes. Beautiful fish. That's what we came for, mate.
Absolutely.
On your first session at Linear too.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Now Mick's been fishing further round, and he's paid me a couple of visits, and he's had a few fish as well. So what have you done, Mick? How many have you had, and what sizes, and what kind of tactics have you been using?
Had 2 and lost 2. I've got them on
Any size?
24 1/4 and 1 dead on 22.
Didn't you have a 25 last night?
No,
Oh, you didn't?
no,
Right.
that was them kids.
Oh, right. So they've had a 25 and a 28.
Yeah.
So what kind of methods have you been using?
Me, just had a Ronnie rig. That's all I've used.
Dear.
Yeah, the twister.
At range?
Yeah, 90 yards.
I saw you spotting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're doing well, mate. So you're on until tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I can only
Very first thing in the
wish
morning.
you, and look at Charlie here. Charlie's having a good time. But I'll wish you both the best of luck. All right, Mick, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Well, that's all she wrote. Don't think I'll be needing these driving home this time. It's absolutely chucking it down. All the gear's wet through. Another great session, dead slow. Could have been better, couldn't it, fishing wise? But, you know, last gasp. Had that 25.5 last night. You know, we talk about sizes and everything in this game. But I think in that case, it was that fish needed as much size as it could get. Oh, it was no looker, was it? So anyway, again, made a few new friends. Lovely fella Mick came round almost every morning to his dog for a walk, and he was catching. You know, fair play to the old boy. Great fella. He was spotting at a range as well. And of course, John and his son Noel next door. Great to see John get that 30. What a corker of a fish. And as it went, I was shouting him to try and help me with the photographs of that 25 at 1:30 in the morning. And as it goes, a lad, James, was fishing behind me on Brasenose One. He came over and did the honours. So, you know, great stuff. It's good to meet people. And I can't wait to get back on here. We're gluttons for it, aren't we? Right, until then, I'll see you on the bank.